You should have more interest in visiting Germany. It was dope getting to experience the city, the architecture, the history, the automotive history, and of course, beer. So much beer. Like, believe all the hype about the beer. Honestly, I had no real reason to go to Munich or even a real plan when we got there, but I'm gonna show y'all why it was dope being in Bavaria. Starting with the airport, we flew into Munich International. Passport control and arriving was quick, not a whole lot of traffic. But that return though, please get there early. We got there 2 hours early and was in the priority lane and still just made the flight. But the airport has a lot of shopping, 150 shops to be exact. Thanks, Google. Now let's talk about public transportation. Punctual is an understatement. I don't think I've ever used the phrase you could set your watch to it, but here we are. I say it took us probably about a day to get used to things, with a quick tutorial from some locals. Shout out to them. You can pay once you get on, but you're gonna want to download the app. You can buy all your tickets there for the different modes that make up the system. U-Bahn is the underground train system. S-Bahn is the above ground train system. Trams are the street rail cars, and then buses are buses. In the app, you input your destination and you get offered a number of routes on the different modes or systems, including walking directions if you need to walk to the nearest station, the expected arrival time to that station, and the duration for the trip. There's different ticket types, but if you'll be exploring around for more than a day, I'd say I definitely recommend the day ticket. It lets you hop on and off unlimited on that system for the day till about 6 a.m. the next day. And all the systems run pretty late. I think 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. is the only downtime. And these some of the nicest train stations. Like, they had legit restaurants and pastry shops and bakeries, and I stayed eating on the train. Back work is crazy though. Anyway, one place you want to put in your notes is Marienplatz. Not only is this the station where the S-Bahn and U-Bahn lines intersect, it's also where the City Hall building is. So many shops, so many stores, shopping, restaurants. It is the city center and the largest main public square in Munich since 1158. Thanks, Google. They even put on a show at Glockenspiel at 11 a.m. and noon, at 5 p.m. like March or October. And no, I don't have video because somehow we kept missing it. Speaking of, you really got to take a pause and just appreciate the architecture here. Some of these structures have been up for centuries and are still in use. Like, super dope. I took like 1,000 photos. Oh, you say you want to see some? Oh, of course. Okay, but back to what I was saying. So you got the State Chancellery, Hofgarten. A lot of really dope landmarks and sites are all within walking distance, kind of when you get to the Marienplatz area. One you'll really want to check out is Frauenkirche, the Munich Cathedral. Something that's been around for 300 years is just amazing to see. Out of respect, I didn't record, but was able to get some photos. And folks just seem to kind of chill and congregate right out front, but also there's a restaurant. And not just any restaurant, one attached to the oldest brewery in Munich dating back to 1294. That number just sounds weird to say. Anyway, the menu features, I want to say classic German dishes, but this is all foreign to me. I don't know what's classic. I was just happy to be there. One thing I was told was a staple was Ubatzen, a soft cheese dip with herbs and seasonings and beer. Think elevated cheese whiz. The beer and pretzel pairing. I mean, we're in Germany, right?
Definitely an elevated cheese whiz. We're like, oh, this
Yeah.
I want to combine it. It's got to be some extra flavors and aromas and stuff that bloom. Yeah, all the greenery, the onions, the tomatoes, the
Creme brulee on any menu, I'ma try it. This one hit. This was good. I know most folks are probably wondering what the food scene is like in Germany. Some may even have doubts, but there's various cuisines just like any other city. Like AJ's Superfood, whose lines stayed long, serving Middle Eastern cuisine. For my Sweet Tooth clan, fear not, they got us. More bakeries and gelato spots than I expected to see out here. So when you think German, aside from motors, you think beer. I was able to experience the beer and a whole plenty of it. Let's talk beer gardens. To sum it up, It's an outdoor spot where folks just chill at shared tables and drink beer. This one is in Victualian Market, a market area right in the city center. Locally grown produce, cheeses, meats. Yeah, back to the beer. You walk up, there are fresh pours. You grab one, pay, and find a seat. You saw the huge pretzels, but they also serve real food. And pretty much all the beer gardens do. We saw that at all the ones we hit, and we hit a bunch. Make sure you have cash though. A lot of them don't take card. A little off the beaten path, but you gotta be dedicated to this beer garden experience. And this one is Königliche Hirschgarten. And as you can see, they all kind of vary in their setup, but keeping with the theme of just outdoor chilling and beer. But here at Königliche Hirschgarten, they had half a bird going for the low. So well seasoned and so good. I mean, I didn't have high expectations for food out here, but I don't think we ate anything that wasn't good. Continuing our beer garden journey led us to Augustiner Keller, probably the most popular and one you definitely want to add to your list. It's big, it's live, had the widest food selection that I saw out of any of the beer gardens, and with an indoor restaurant, and they accepted card. So I talked a lot about beer, and hey, before I came here, I was skeptical. But the German beer hype is for real. Now, nightlife wise, we didn't go out looking for like clubs or nothing like that. We just went exploring, and whatever we came across, we hit. We stumbled onto the Havana Club. It was a cool little bar. They had good drinks. Vibe was very chill. I feel like it was a Latin thing. Kennedy's was this basement spot that was packed, like wall to wall. I don't know if this was karaoke night or if they always do karaoke, but interesting that 95% of the songs they performed were like American pop songs. Probably not the best transition, but I can't talk about Germany without talking about the World War II history and the concentration camps. Set up in 1933, Dachau was the first concentration camp established. If you're interested, just don't get lost like we did and end up at the cemetery and not the actual camp memorial site. Unless you go there on purpose. We didn't. I know this may not be a point of interest for some. Reliving one of the darkest periods in human history on vacation, but it's super informative and eye-opening. It's definitely something to experience. You walk the path of those who were brought here, from the original train tracks to the barracks or living quarters to the quote-unquote bathrooms to where victims were experimented on, and also the quote-unquote showers where countless executions happened. Signage details what each structure was used for, what each building's purpose was. There's also detailed information and a timeline starting from a tense political state and people fearing the modern era and wanting things to return to the good old days. Cough, sounds familiar. Cough. To the order of the camp victims, starting with political prisoners and gypsies to Austrians and other foreign prisoners, and then to when Jewish people were targeted. Like coming here, there's a true realization that happens is that these places were built. Like, their structures are built by teams of people, not just one man. There was a landscaper who planted trees here. There was a sculptor and an artist. There was an architect, engineers, very coordinated effort by all parties involved. Today, there's a reconciliation church there now, and also an area for ceremonies for memorials of the victims. I want to switch gears again, and let's talk about BMW. See what I did there? Germany, known for making arguably the best cars, has Audi, Mercedes, BMW facilities, to name the top few.
All right, we are here at BMW Welt, and another random, just decided to. I mean, it was kind of on the list, but it was like we didn't really have a particular way we were gonna go about it. The Welt is free. We almost booked tickets in advance from our hotel room. Glad we didn't, because that's just a guided tour of this whole free area, right? The factory
Would have been nice.
would have been very nice, but you got to book that 4 to 6 weeks in advance. And the museum, which is across the street, which we're gonna do and we'll show you, is just 10 euros. So 3 different ways to enjoy, interact, engage with BMW as a brand. Welt is free. It's basically a car showroom. We're gonna walk around here. I'll show you that. The museum, I'm sure it's just like history and stuff. I've done the Porsche one before, which was really dope. So I have high expectations for you, BMW. Don't mess it up. And then the factory, which we will not do, but yeah.
And you don't have to be a gearhead or super knowledgeable on cars to enjoy this. But if you are either of those, you'll enjoy it even more.
Really? I thought we were cool. It's like that? All right, whatever, be like that. Never in my life. Disrespectful little robot.
So just to recap, BMW Welt, which is this showroom thing, is free, basically, unless you want a guided tour. The museum, which we're about to get into, about 10 euros or $11 as of this video. And the factory, which you need to book in advance, like now, like right now. And yeah, that car's paint is changing colors. Technology of the future. As you saw on the first floor, you got to experience the cars. The second floor is for bikes. A quick trek across the connecting bridge gets you to the BMW M1 restaurant, the gift shop, and the museum. Not only does it talk about the history of BMW motors as it relates to automobiles and bikes, you also see the history of where they've delved into like aviation and other divisions, and just generally BMW tech and innovation.
All right, so we're at the museum. Definitely interesting to learn about the history of BMW, all the different sectors, the bikes, the F1, the racing, other racing divisions, all that kind of stuff. So any fans, any automotive, any gearheads out there, you'll really appreciate doing the museum. Anybody who just is a casual fan of BMW as a brand, you'll like this museum. And anybody just looking for something to do. If you got some time to kill, it's only 10 euros. Walk around.
I promise we just walked around and just stumbled on stuff. So we encountered the Olympic Park from when Munich hosted the Olympics. Outside of just general walking and walking trails, there's a few activities over here that you could actually do, including swimming in the Olympic pool, which is open to the public.
Bro, can you swim? Can we get in there? Yeah. I wish I knew and brought my trunks. How much is it? Oh, that's dope. $90 for 5 euros, basically. That's dope. Had I known, I definitely would have done that.
I got a shot of water.
Nah, I be swimming. This is me. Olympic pool, like literally, like maybe like Olympic size pool. Like, oh, that is an Olympic pool.
They got a mini golf place, they got an aquarium, they got this indoor soccer facility. Now you could do research in advance, or you could just wander around and explore, and stuff like this happens. But whatever you decide to do, I'ma just remind you what the airport going home looks like. So plan accordingly.